I'm Jessie Masoliva. I'm from Labindam, but I live in Mombasa. I like listening to Gold FM.
Only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Sadie Sakio from Kashmir Lotoka. I like listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Sakata Losana. I'm from Butua and I love listening to Gold FM.
Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, 50% capacity now allowed in places of worship. 2 more COVID-19 patients recover. And no secrets in Fiji Airways dealings.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Places of worship are now allowed 50% capacity as opposed to the previous limit of 100 people. Minister for Health Dr. Firemi Wanganambete says this was reiterated during a Talanoa session with Fijians in Nalawara. It's been 130 days since the last case of COVID-19 was detected within the community. Kritika Kumar reports.
Dr. Firemi Wanganambete has pointed out that 50% capacity in churches, temples and mosques does not mean people can become complacent.
The social gathering restrictions that are in place, we have to remember that we are in the new normal. So the new normal talks about us making sure that we have personal and hand hygiene, making sure that we continue to have our space.
Dr. Wanganambete says the simple yet effective solution to the coronavirus pandemic is to continue to practice social distancing and good hygiene by regularly washing hands with soap and water.
So we have to also make sure that when we go and watch a match that we actually create a space. We can use the whole capacity of the stadium, so as to speak, so we're not all crowded in one particular place. And this is intentionally so that we can continue to have a learned behavior.
Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says they are taking preventative measures to ensure the quarantine protocols will be adhered to at all times.
One of the problems that we do have is time can result in complacency if we do not keep reviewing our actions. So the fact that we've also had a constant flow of repatriation and the fact that we've had 1 or 2 cases has kept us on our toes in relation to how we manage our quarantine.
Dr. Fong says there are distinct features in quarantine, while people manning isolation centers have different protocols. These, he says, have ramped up Fiji's ability to detect and control COVID-19. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Health Ministry has confirmed that 2 more COVID-19 patients out of the 6 have recovered and have been released from isolation. Minister for Health Dr. Firemi Wanganambete says Fiji now has 4 border quarantine active cases in isolation. Fiji reported its first COVID-19 case on March 19th this year and had 18 COVID-19 cases, but they all recovered fully and were discharged. As of July 6th, Fiji has reported 9 border quarantine cases.
Some of our family and friends and fellow Fijians, they go overseas and spend time there. And in this case, some of them went across to seek medical attention, and they went with family members and they came back. And so we've had the recoveries.
All information about Fiji Airways and Wangavuka Financing Limited has already been provided to Parliament and documents have been made public. Speaking during a Fiji Airways media conference, Minister for Economy Aya Said Kayum says it is concerning that politicians and media outlets are spreading lies and claims about Fiji Airways with no understanding of how the aviation industry works. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The Minister for Economy stresses the details about Wangavuka Financing Limited is public knowledge.
This information has been available in the public space at the parliamentary level, but people have chosen not to run with it or have chosen to be ignorant about it. And I think with all these issues coming up now, I think people are looking for political mileage.
It was also stated yesterday that government-guaranteed loans were given out in the past to companies such as the Fiji Electricity Authority, and the $450 million guarantee for Fiji Airways is nothing new.
they never rely purely on a guarantee. The last thing any financier wants to do is exercise a guarantee. Their first starting point is, can you make the payments? But having the guarantee in these circumstances is the extra comfort they needed.
The Minister for Economy adds Fiji Airways was punching above its weight and competing with bigger airlines.
The second largest shareholder, which is Qantas, was actually competing with the very company within which they hold at least 46% of the shares. It's actually unheard of. Completely unheard of. And an airline that is far bigger, far deeper pockets.
Saad Kayum also revealed that for the first time, the Asian Development Bank will lend $50 million to Fiji Airways. Philip Naikaso, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says with the national budget passed, the stage is set for small businesses. Marking the second anniversary of the merge and its new site in Walubei, Suva, Bainimarama says in many of the worst-stricken economies, small businesses have had the toughest go. Restrictions and movement have seen many close their doors for good. Kelly Vadala reports.
The PM says merch owner Watesoni Natha Jr.'s story could have closed up shop, but he adapted, collaborated and showed skills well beyond his years.
He partnered with another Fijian enterprise, as you've heard, Fiji Chemicals Limited, to start selling hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies. And he rode out maybe the toughest economic patch in Fiji's history without letting go of a single employee. While he was hard at work sustaining his business, Fiji was leading the world's most decisive effort to contain the spread of COVID-19.
The PM says Natha's timing could have not been better as the government last month announced the boldest budget in Fijian history.
It was a budget designed with businesses like the merge top of mind. It slashed duties on over 1,600 items. It introduced the steepest tax cut in Fijian history, and it put forward a $2 billion economic stimulus.
Natha says these are struggling times for businesses, but maintaining a positive mindset is crucial.
We've got to be able to partner with each other, and collaboration I think is very key. That's the only way to be able to survive this pandemic and come out through the end of it.
The head of government has also spoken with Fijians who have seen their jobs and working hours cut as a result of the pandemic. He says these hardworking people don't want to settle for handouts. They want the dignity of a job, and it's at the core, whether it's through cutting taxes, incentivizing spending, or spurring new construction. Creating jobs is what the latest budget is all about. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Up ahead, women's resilience vital during disasters, and Lambasa hosts Market Day.
मेरा नाम शिबू है, मैं तावा टाउन में रहता हूँ, and I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
My name is Karthik Abdestan, और बाग में Mirchi FM, it's hot.
नमस्कार, मैं हलीम हूँ लंबासा से। मैं हमेशा मिर्ची FM सुनता हूँ। Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Royal British Legion in Fiji says there is currently no recruitment happening after reports of bogus agents were raised by the public, especially those in villages. The Legion's Fiji office says they have received calls from people making inquiries after being approached by individuals claiming to be from a recruitment agency. Kelly Vavala reports.
Bogus agents continue to try to obtain money from Fijians already in desperate need of employment during this difficult time.
I think 2 months ago I heard someone call me and was asking if the recruitment was still open, and I said no. And I did state the reason why. And I said, why you asking that question? They did mention that someone was trying to, was giving information out. This is to the village, I can't remember the name of the village, saying that they need to pay, only thing they need to do is to give 700 or something like that.
Merwalesi Langilangi says there were queries received on how the actual recruitment process works because bogus agents are coming up with new tactics.
There was another one that we had, I think it was just the beginning of the year, or just the middle of the year, or beginning of the year. Was taking money out of the recruit, like the new recruiters, those who are desperate to go, 7,200. It's in the police hand. We've already reported that. I did try and phone other people, but they are totally brainwashed by these bogus, because they said that they will provide the flights, they will provide the visa, they will provide everything for them.
The last batch of applicants are from October last year, and the Legion's April recruitment drive was halted due to COVID-19.
You have to work with our people at Royal British Legion in domain, and you have to concentrate and be alert.
The Legion says in order for one to apply, they merely need to use their online portal, and only those selected will have to pay for their visa and airline tickets. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Hundreds of people were part of Lambasa's first ever Botanical Garden Market Day. Footprints Events Coordinator Jackson Thuvivi says there has been overwhelming response, with many wanting the Market Day to become a monthly event. Saniani Boiler reports.
Talent seen by Footprints Events in the Northern Division spurred the first ever Lambasa Market Day.
Found out that there wasn't any platform to expose these talents. So that's the whole reason why we came up with this events page. We decided to form this events group, and we gave a platform to the people of the North to expose their talents.
For Lambasa residents, the Botanical Garden Market Day was timely.
This market day is a good experience for Lambasa people. They can bring their items for sale, whatever they have, and also good for family day.
It's the first time experiencing Lambasa market, so it's a good experience.
We just want them to have it like every month, and it's good for us, the ladies from Undu.
Quite amazed with the creativity that's in Lambasa, but there's not a lot of people, or the community is not aware of who's doing what or who's selling something. Quite unique, and we're thankful that we've put this market day together, and it's allowed a lot of unique vendors to come out, sell their craft, their accessories, and apart from that, we got pastries, and just to tap into their passion.
The market day will now be a monthly affair. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The resilience of women and girls during disasters is crucial. UN Women Representative Sandra Berkla says Fiji is faced with numerous tropical cyclones every year, and building resilience will ensure lives are not lost. She says this will also help create sustainable and secure communities. With the new program strengthening women's resilience to disasters, she is confident women will be able to identify their strengths. The program will look at prevention, preparedness, and the strategies that will enable women to withstand 107 natural hazards and recover from disasters.
We had a cyclone like once every 5 or 6 years back then. This year we are expecting 5 just for Fiji. With 5 cyclones hitting you, how ever do you ever be able to get back on your feet again in between? So this program is absolutely critical in looking at that whole cycle and building resilience throughout.
In sports tonight, Namosi retains fair brother, and Suva Futsal qualify for semi-final. This and more after the break.
Sangare ay tako sa inya na time ang tap may na oro na alo may maduaan. Mayo to ale ahi na Radio Fiji 1 nando moy binti.
Tambol graka ndang ko sela sa takau. Au betu tu mai bot kola, au taka tingai tabua, ondo mai bulu tina singile wango na makete. Ondo tali taka na barong na Radio Fiji 1 ondo moy binti.
Ngola binariki ayo na vango kelera mai na ton mai na kono na lonta mayang te mai pa Tau talitangin niya na to may biti ng tumong kaniwe yan.
Radio Fiji One, Nando Moiviti.
Namosi has defended the Fairbrother Sullivan Trophy, beating Lautoka 59 this afternoon. A 14-man Lautoka side put up a brave performance against the champions, but it just wasn't enough. Aquila Dhama reports.
Many thought it was going to be a high-scoring game after this happened.
This red card.
However, what transpired next left many surprised, including the Namosi management.
Although Lautoka was a new team, not a new team, it's just entered the skipper and the Fairbrother this year. We learned a lot from them this afternoon.
The Maroons never looked like a side that was reduced to 14 men for more than 70 minutes.
I think we showed Namosi that team is really serious about coming to get the Fairbrother this afternoon.
Namosi scored its first points 5 minutes after the red card to Vatili Tuisambeto.
The backline exploited. Namosi over the top. The try has been given.
Former Flying Fijians fly half Boiselu Veniali scored 2 penalties for his 6-5 lead at half-time. A Maroons mistake early in the second spell gifted Namosi its second try.
Ball lost and now for Namosi. And Namosi going in to score the try. Second one, Kalaveti Ravovo.
Luveniali then slaughtered another penalty before Namosi had the final say with their third try.
Oh, he makes a good run. Saw the gap. Koroisau. Third try for Namosi.
A late surge from Lautoka failed to break their 17 years Fairbrother drought. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
The Ramsamy Suva rugby coaching team believes fitness was the key to their 15-6 win over Nganga Naitasiri in the Skipper Cup last night at the NZ Stadium. Suva scored 2 tries through Misaele Peteroi and Elia Dhanakaivata, while Vuate Karawalevu slotted in 2 penalties for Naitasiri. Aquila Dhama reports.
One of the major advantages Suva had last night was their experienced backline, boasting the likes of John Stewart, Enele Malele and Sirupepeli Vularika.
I think the Naitasiri team has got a very young backline, and we not say that we are very experienced, but I think 3 years experience, and they're much older than the other boys. I think that we have a stronger backline than that. Yeah.
Suva fielded their best possible lineup by far against Naitasiri.
Our focus now is try to allow all the players in our pool of players to play, and to be able to field this one today is a miracle from the management, but I think this is one of the best that we have fielded so far.
Naitasiri head coach Dr. Ilaitia Tuisese says they lacked concentration in the first half.
Suva really pressured us in most areas. We tried to contain them in the first half. It was a big learning curve from us, especially in our decision making. They really pressured us, and we turned a lot of possession in the first half. So we were like mostly on the back foot in the first 40 minutes.
The Highlanders will play Teilevu next weekend, while Suva travels to Churchill Park to tackle Lautoka. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
Just a few weeks after sealing a deal with Digicel as their major club competition sponsor, the Suva Rugby Union has managed to secure another great corporate company. The capital city sides will now be known as Ramsamy Suva for the next 5 years. Ramsamy secured the naming rights after putting pen to paper with Suva Rugby yesterday. The deal is worth $30,000 a year.
Despite the current economic conditions, or we can say the challenges that we face, they're still stepping up to assist us. And for that, we are truly grateful. We are truly grateful, particularly for the commitment, for the faith towards Suva Rugby, for the faith towards the youth of Fiji.
We will be becoming affiliated with other activities in the community through Suva Rugby.
Tailevu put up a gallant performance to hold Yasawa to a 16-all draw in their Skipper Cup clash at Ratadakambao Park in Nausori. Hosts Tailevu made a remarkable comeback in the second half to level the scores after a successful conversion by Simeone Kurvoli on the stroke of full time, depriving the visitors of the win. Yasawa started off strongly in the first half, seeing 3 successful penalties and a try to Fiji 7's rep Napoleon Iratu to take an early 13-0 lead. Tailevu hit back with the try to Vetai Tikumai Lepanoni as they trailed 5-13 at half-time. The hosts had a dream start in the second spell, seeing Kurvoli add a successful penalty. Rokondinono answered back for Yasawa minutes later to extend their lead to 16-18. A try to winger Chosevani Rava in the 74th minute of play and another successful conversion to Kurvoli leveled the scores to 16-all. The Jet Bar and Grill Suverside is on track to defending its Vodafone Futsal IDC title. It's won all pool games with 1 each against Lami and Riketi today. Aquila Dama has the details.
Suva Futsal will head into the semi-final tomorrow with a lot of confidence. However, they first need to fix how they interact on the field.
Just the communication on the field. We have some new boys joining us, so the senior players has to communicate with the boys in the field.
The defending champions were tested by a good Lami side earlier today before winning 2-1.
The Lami team knows our players very well, so they managed to shut out parts of the field that we used to work on. But I think the boys, they fought well and we came out victors.
Lami coach Kavnil Lal says his team has played well in this tournament.
I think Jasneet Vikas, the golden boot from BOG, has been superb. Manasa Levadi has been phenomenal in defense. Nasoni Mereke, standout performer for this game for me. And of course the whole team, because this is always a team sport.
The Futsal IDC semi-finals and final will be held tomorrow at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Fiji Mbati winger Mikaele Ravalawa scored twice as his Dragon side defeated the Brisbane Broncos 28-24 last night. It was Ravalawa's second double in consecutive weeks as he dotted down twice against the Eels last week in their 14-12 win. Quick look at weather. It was fine apart from brief showers that prevailed over eastern parts and interior parts of the country. Mainly fine weather with isolated afternoon or evening showers was experienced over the rest of the group. A quick look at the weather map looking in the west. Fine weather was experienced in all centres. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, more sunny conditions with no forecast of rain overnight. And up north, the sun was out all day. At sea, an easterly wind flow prevails over Fiji waters. Easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate easterly swells. Turning to the tides, high tide is at 9:02 p.m. with low tide at 3 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:21. Now for tomorrow, expect fine weather all day, except for some cloudy conditions over Navua, Suva and Nausori. And our further outlook is brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, fine apart from possible afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. Recapping the main stories for tonight, 50% capacity now allowed in places of worship. 2 more COVID-19 patients recover. And no secrets in Fiji Airways dealings. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should players found guilty of using drugs be banned from playing for life? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, by Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe. Modamamba.
नाम ललेश नारायण है। हम रेडियो पीजी 2 सुनता है, रेडियो पीजी का इसके लड़का।
जी हाँ, मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ। मेरा नाम शर्मा है। फिलहाल मैं रेडियो पीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ, जो रेडियो पीजी 2 देश का धड़कन।
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है, मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ। आपके राम राम। मुझे रेडियो पीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है।
रेडियो पीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।